Look at the patient falls chart on the bulletin board. It's back to 0 days since the last fall. That's really disappointing, especially when our cusp quality improvement project is about using the electronic health record to identify which patients are at risk for falls.
I agree. You know, we've made much more progress on some of the other safety defects that we worked on as a team. It's frustrating that we haven't been able to decrease the number of falls. We need to figure out how we can do better, but right now let's check in on Mr. Walton before morning rounds. I need to take a good look at his chart because I haven't taken care of him before.
I think he's been here for a couple of days.
And look here, it's right here in his record. He's a falls risk.
Look, he actually had a near fall yesterday.
Do you know anything about that?
No, I didn't hear a word about it. Maybe we should ask Mr. Walton what happened.
Hi, Mr. Walton. My name is Bev. I'm the nurse who's going to be taking care of you today.
And I'm Aaliyah. I'm the nursing assistant working with Bev today. How are you doing, Mr. Walton?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I've been here a couple of days now. I hope I can go home before too long.
We'll be making rounds as a full team with your physician later this morning, and we can talk about your discharge plan then. Is anyone from your family going to be here? We can talk with all of you together.
Yeah, my wife might be by later.
Okay, we'll want to speak with both of you together while she's here. And we noticed your chart says you almost fell yesterday. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, yeah, it was late afternoon and my wife had just gone home. And I really had to go to the bathroom. And I didn't want to bother anyone because I know you're all so busy. So I thought I could just get up and go to the bathroom by myself.
Oh, did you use your walker?
Well, I couldn't find it. And I tried to keep it here by the bed, but I couldn't see it, and I really had to go.
I'm really sorry about that, Mr. Walton. And I see that your walker is over there. How long has it been over there?
I think since yesterday. I remember when my wife was visiting and her chair was right by the bed here, and they brought my meal tray in and put it on the table here, and they probably pushed my walker over there to make more room.
All right, Mr. Walton. I'll put your walker right here beside your bed so you can get to it easily if you really need to use it. But please, use your call button if you need to go to the bathroom, okay?
Yeah, okay.
We'll be back in a little while to check on you, and I'll also talk with the other nurses on the unit about checking in with you more frequently to see if you need to use the bathroom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Walton. I'm glad that Abby is our nurse manager. I feel really comfortable talking with her about patient safety issues.
Yeah, she's very approachable and responsive to our concerns. She would definitely want to know about Mr. Walton, especially since it relates to patient safety. Hi, Abby. I'm sure you have a zillion things going on right now, but...
Always, but please, come in.
Thanks. Aaliyah and I need just a couple minutes of your time. We have some concerns that we'd really like you to know about.
Oh, sure. I always appreciate it when you come and tell me what's going on. You and the others are my ears and eyes out there. So what's up?
You know how we've been trying to cut down on the rate of patient falls with our cusp team?
Yes.
Well,
we learned some things that are pretty worrisome when we went in to talk with Mr. Walton this morning. We saw on his chart that he was identified as at risk for a fall, but when we went into his room, we thought, no wonder he almost fell. His walker was over in the corner, too far away from his bed for him to get to it.
he said he didn't want to bother anybody, but he really needed to go to the bathroom, so he tried to get up and go by himself without his walker.
It sounded like his walker was pushed in the corner to make room to bring in his meal, then nobody moved it back.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, you're exactly right. The data we have on falls shows that we still have plenty of room for improvement. And I really appreciate you for bringing this to me. You've both made some really important observations.
I think there are ways we can help prevent falls from Mr. Walton and the rest of the floor.
You're right, Aaliyah. Abby, don't we have a Learning from Defects session coming up before the next CUSP meeting?
Yeah, you're right, we do.
I think this should be our topic because we've already identified some possible causes, and Ali and I have ideas for some solutions. Can we talk about that with the group?
Absolutely, that's a great idea.
Great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thanks everybody for coming. I know you're all busy, so I just want to say as the leader of this group that I really appreciate you making the time to be here. It really does take all of us together with our different perspectives to reach the goals of our CUSP team. As a group, we've identified patient falls as a primary area of focus for improvement on our floor. The data show that we have the highest rate of falls in the hospital, and our goal is to decrease that rate.
So what you're saying is we need to increase the number of days between patient falls. That's what we're tracking on the patient falls chart on the bulletin board.
We've been working on this for a while, and unfortunately, we haven't solved this problem.
Both of you are right. We've discussed potential reasons why our floor continues to have falls and near falls in our Learning from Defects meeting a week ago, and here are some of the interventions we've identified. The first intervention is to tape an outline of the walker on the floor to show where it should go. A second is educating patients and their families on falls prevention by developing a pamphlet. A third is proper entry of patient information into the EHR and ensuring that the staff reviews the records regularly. And a final intervention is ensuring that the call button is within the patient's reach and that the patient understands how to use the button and understands its importance.
Well, we already mark the EHR when someone is at risk for a fall. The problem is we don't check the EHR regularly. We should be reviewing the records before we go in to see a patient.
You're right, but can we shelve that topic? I'd like to talk about this idea of a pamphlet. If we had a pamphlet that describes things like tape on the floor to mark where the walker should be, or asking patients to use the call button early when they need to use the restroom, that would be really helpful for patients and their families. We could give the pamphlet to patients when they're admitted to our floor and review it with them while their family members are here.
I really like that idea. If we put a taped spot on the floor, then everyone will know where the walker belongs, including the families, because sometimes they're the ones that move the walker. Then we'll have to teach everyone, including the dietary staff, about putting the walker back where the walker belongs before they leave the room.
You know, as NAs, we round every 90 minutes. As a double check, we can make it part of our routine to ensure that the walker is actually in the taped area.
That's a great idea.
And if you can design the pamphlet, I can provide the funds to get it printed. You know, Abby, you are always coming up with great ideas for the staff to develop professionally and contribute to the team. Can you think of a staff member who may have an interest in design and is also looking for some professional development opportunities this quarter?
You know, maybe we can ask Jack. I know he enjoys design, and he even made some of the posters that you see around the unit. He works 3/12, so he may have a couple of hours available. And I know he's looking to advance to a CN3 on our clinical ladder, so this could provide him an opportunity to work towards his professional development goals.
Sounds good to me.
Well, you guys are great. I really appreciate everyone's input. These ideas sound like meaningful solutions. I really hope they help us make more progress. So I'll talk to you next week about that.
That sounds good. Thank you. Hey, Abby, do you have a second? I just want to tell you you're doing a great job with the CUSP team, especially leading that initiative on reducing patient falls.
Oh, thanks. Our team is really excited about the progress that we're making.
120 days since the last fall. You've really reduced the falls rate.
Well, I really appreciate you noticing that. The team has worked really hard to make that happen. We're tapping into some of Jack's other talents, and we're grateful to you for providing the funds so we could print the pamphlet.
And I've noticed another area on our dashboard you've addressed. Your staff satisfaction has also increased. You've really done a great job.
Well, the nurses have told me how much they appreciate having the pamphlet to give to patients and families when they come on our floor. They really enjoy teaching them about things like this that really matter.
Well, I can see that you've improved patient safety, you've developed your staff, you've engaged the patients and their families all at the same time, and you met your budget target.
While financial goals aren't our primary focus in patient safety, they are important. You've done a terrific job, and I just wanted to thank you for your leadership.
Oh, thanks, Kathy.